So the modal interchange is the idea of borrowing the chords from other modes with the same root. For instance, in the case of C major, we can use chords from C Dorian, C Phrygian, C Lydian, C mixed Lydian, C Aeolian, or C Locrian scales. Where there's a lot of possibilities, in this video I want to focus on introducing 5 major 7th chords that works great in the context of the modal interchange. In the case of C major key, those 5 chords are B flat major 7th, E flat major 7th, F flat major 7th, D flat major 7th, and G flat major 7th. I also like to call them as flat 7th major 7th, flat 3 major 7th, flat 6 major 7th, flat 2 major 7th, and flat 5 major 7th, which is a scale degree distance from the root of the C. Those 5 chords can be a part of a song. Also, they can be great for making a vamp with a C major 7th chord, such as C major 7th and B flat major 7th. Or C major 7th and D flat. With E flat, I like to use E flat first. With F flat, it's the same deal. And this F flat, if you add G7th, it's a section of Night and Day. E flat and C was also the B section of Night and Day. So if we look at Cole Porter songs, we find a lot of modal interchange ideas. And for the G flat major 7th, I like to use it at the ending chords such as instead of making a vamp with C major 7th. It's a nice surprise. Instead of going to C major 7th directly, we can do it's a G flat major 7th sharp 11 with C note on the top and go back to C major at the end. So now I want to talk a little bit about how to play solos on each chord. Let's begin with C major 7th and B flat major 7th. So I was using a couple different approaches. One is arpeggios such as C major 7 and B flat major 7, and also triads, C triad and B flat triad, and blues. And this blues scale is a little bit outside of both chords, so it's a little different approach from the other arpeggio thing, because arpeggio was fitting with the chord, but blues is a little out. but it works and I like this blues sound. And also I like a little bit of A flat major 7th arpeggio, which is also a little outside, and G altered works. And F minor, so F minor, F flat major 7th, and G altered and C blues are a little outside of the both scales, but I liked it. And now let's move on to C and D flat major 7th. So for these two chords, I was more likely sticking with the chord scale, and I was using A flat major 7th arpeggio for D flat, also F minor, which is part of the D flat major 7th arpeggio, and I was a bit careful about using D flat major 7th itself. But it works as well. We can do a little bit of G altered, which is more like D flat 7th scale instead of D flat major 7th. And of course the blues again. Alright, let's move on to E flat major 7th. Yeah, so this one, it was more easier to use the regular E flat major 7th arpeggio and C major 7th as well. And again, I can use F flat major 7th too. As well as G 7th altered. And of course C blues scale. Alright, up next it's a F flat major 7th and C major 7th. This one might be my favorite, because I can still use F flat major 7th quite a lot, and also again C blues. Yeah, it's a very smooth chord progression. I really like it. And for the G flat, yeah, it's more like the ending chords, and I don't really vamp too much for G flat and C major 7th combination. Alright, so those 5 major 7th chords are not part of the C major diatonic chords at all. So the question is where they came from. The short answer is they are part of one of those modes in the C. So in case of B flat major 7th, it can be either C Dorian, that equivalent to B flat Ionian scale, or if it's C Mixolydian, it's a B flat Lydian sound. And for D flat major 7th, I'm thinking about the C Phrygian scale, to make D flat as a Lydian sound. And E flat, it could be C Aeolian scale, which makes E flat Ionian, or C Dorian, which makes our E flat Lydian sound. For the F flat major 7th, C Aeolian scale, that's basically the same as F flat Lydian scale. And for G flat, I like Lydian as well, so I'm thinking about C Locrian. And if you get overwhelmed by those mode names, please don't be worried about it too much. It's way more important to know these chord patterns and specific approaches to play solos, such as these arpeggios or blues playing. So that was the introduction for the modal interchange, and if you have any questions, please let me know. I'd love to clear up some confusions if you have any.